Yeah.
So you don't want to be like, man, you look good in them jeans, girl.
No. Flattering, but no.
Yeah.
They can be respectful and they say, oh, like, you look good or whatever, but it's like,
Yeah, that's fine.
say hello.
How are you?
How are you?
My name
Tell me
is.
your name. Yeah. As a woman, I never know what I'm going to get, no matter what. And the guy could have the nicest intentions.
Sure. If I was to see you on the street and I was like, damn, she looks good. Wow, she's attractive. What's the best way I should approach you?
Oh, this is fun.
Don't catcall from across the street. I think have the decency to walk up to me.
Yeah.
So you don't want to be like, man, you look good in them jeans, girl.
No. Flattering, but no.
Yeah. Like, thanks,
I
but-
think have the respect to at least come talk to me.
Okay.
Yeah, I think respect. So I think a little bit of distance.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Sure.
Definitely.
Like, you got
Yeah,
personal
don't,
space.
Yeah.
Don't like, you know, because
No,
that's
for sure.
that's weird.
That's a safety thing.
Yeah, it's a safety thing. And just, you know, being really polite, being like, hey, like I saw you across the street, like you're really pretty. Can I maybe have your phone number?
Not your Instagram.
I
DM
think introduce yourself before anything though. 'Cause
Yeah,
I'm
like,
not-
hi.
Yeah.
Sure.
I
name's-
think
yeah.
men, at least in my experience, have like dove straight in, and I'm like, okay, but like,
Can you give me an example? Like, what do they say?
Who are you?
yeah. Well, I mean, like, they can be respectful and they say, oh, like you look good or whatever, but it's like,
Yeah, that's fine.
say hello.
How are you?
How are you?
My name
Tell me
is.
your name. Yeah, like
Yeah.
clearly the goal is obvious, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, don't dive straight in. You know, dip your foot in the water.
Okay.
Suss out the situation.
I think it helps like alleviate some tension that women feel when men do walk up to them, because when, at least for me, when a man walks up to me, it can go literally in any way. You know what I mean? Like, I've had someone be very respectful and say like, I'm not even trying to be weird, but I just had to tell you XYZ. And then I've had other people like straight up come up to me and say like some of the most grotesque things. So you really, as a woman, I never know what I'm gonna get, no matter what. And the guy could have the nicest intentions,
Sure.
but our guard's always gonna be up, because unfortunately, like, sometimes men are scary.
Well, also, to be fair, I mean, you don't know because you don't know them.
Exactly. So
it's fair to be weary.
yeah, so I think like even just introducing yourself and saying hello first, it's small, but it helps like be like, okay, like
Break the ice.
you're at least trying to make some sort of conversation instead of just
Yeah.
going straight at it.
And, you know, women, it's funny because I said that all men cheat and stuff, which I don't believe in, by the way. But, like, every woman is different.
Sure.
There's going to be some women that, like, get straight to the point. What do you want?
Yeah.
What's going on here?
Oof.
And there's some...
That's
and-
like, never mind, I changed my mind.
yeah. Or not, right? And then there's some women who need a little bit of like, what do you do for a living? Tell me about yourself. Offering to be like, hey, like do you want a drink? I see there's a drink in your hand. Like, let me get something for you. Like, not one thing isn't gonna work for all of it.
Sure,
Yeah.
For every woman, but I do think 100% like respect, and also just have a conversation with me. Be
Yeah.
like, hey, like I know, like, you're gonna be like really nervous and stuff when you do it,
Of
but
course. It's very different
yeah,
on the other side.
It is. But just being like, hey, I saw you. I saw that you're like drinking. What are you drinking? Like, can I buy you a drink? Like, do you come here often? I think tone matters too. Like, if it's normal, like, well, yeah, not like, hey, like,
doing?
what you doing? Like, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's honestly okay. I know this is gonna sound crazy. It's honestly okay if she does say no. That doesn't mean that like
Sure.
you are like something's bad or like your pickup line wasn't good. Sometimes
personal, yeah.
Sometimes it's really not personal. Sometimes maybe that woman is just not interested in dating, or she has a boyfriend, or she's not interested in men. Like,
Sure.
so I do feel bad that I could only imagine the nervousness.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure. The
Yeah.
anxieties.
That's
Anxiety,
part of
yeah.
the reason why I asked the question. I even have clients who, and it's interesting because some of them have like never dated,
Yeah.
yeah.
you know, and you can appreciate how terrifying it can be. And to me, it's never lost on me because I grew up differently. So like I understand that there's a certain level of discomfort, but you have to learn to build a thick skin and be resilient to it. Meaning traditionally men are always going to approach women. So like I grew up like that was just the norm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. This generation though, your generation, I actually think it's more challenging for them because they're used to doing it, I would say the safer way, which is to try to initiate contact online.
Yep.
So they don't really know how to do it in person. So those are intangible soft skills that you actually have to develop and build. Right? But if a lot of my life is behind my phone, my tablet, and my computer screen, I'm naturally going to try to insulate and protect myself. And this is just my experience. I don't know many women that are going to flip the role and say, I'm going to cold approach all these men if I like them. Most women I've spoken to will say, no, he got to come to me. So women inherently get to have that power differential of they get the initial rejection.
I've done it.
I've
It's
approached,
scary.
yeah.
That's what I mean. And it's
scary.
it's very different because nobody likes
It is
rejection.
fun. It's a rush. Yeah.
Nobody likes the feeling, but it's inevitably, in most cases, something that men experience overwhelmingly more than women.
Oh
will.
yeah, absolutely.
You know, just
I can imagine.
Yeah.
I can imagine. I will say though, and I told you this before, I think the biggest thing is, besides the fact that it's okay if somebody says no, it's the way that you respond. I think it's more of a problematic issue with probably men our age, where it's like, oh well, you weren't even that cute anyway, or like whatever, or like some
that's saving face.
or yeah,
or you hurt my ego.
yeah,
You're
or
like,
Ego.
You're
yeah,
stuck up anyway.
ego, something
Yeah.
like that. Or for me, I work out a lot, so like that happens to me where I do get approached at the gym, and you know the response to that is really important, because as much as men are probably really nervous and it's incredibly scary, I 100% respect anyone that does it in the first place anyway.
Yeah.
But you also have to understand the fear that sometimes women feel
Absolutely.
when, you know, I think my personal experience is like sometimes I get so nervous to say no that I give them like whatever they've asked for and I just don't respond or like whatever, like, because it's like the way that you've already approached me, the way that this interaction's already gone, something tells me that if I tell you no, it's not going to go well. So then, okay, you want my Instagram, like whatever, I'm just not gonna accept the follow request, or I won't message you back,
Block
or whatever.
you.
It's just more of like, can we end this conversation? I'm feeling uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's a really good point. I mean, I think personal safety, I mean, to me, that goes without question.
yeah,
Like
right.
I think in the vast majority of most situations, not that women are always going to feel inherently threatened, but most men are bigger than most women, so there's an inherent physical intimidation that can be there. So tone matters, approach matters, how you conduct yourself matters. I definitely agree with all that.
Setting matters.
Yeah.
Where you are.
The reason why I bring that up too, though, is because, let me kind of take it a slightly different approach. Compared to the way that I grew up, I actually think it's harder nowadays because we don't have like these common places to meet each other anymore. Like outside of when you're in school, which, you know, you're not in school, outside of work, or if you happen to have any other like community or family ties to like, or functions, excuse me, you don't really have a large opportunity pool of people to meet. That's why we
agreed.
rely on dating apps. And then the reason why I brought up the idea of like how people should approach you is because I've heard language around like, these are not the right ways to do it. Like, this isn't the right venue. This isn't the right place. And so I've always wanted to provide context for the other side about how, like, let's say, for example, I see you at Publix and it's the first time I've seen you. Like, I've never seen you there before. And I'm nervous that I might not ever see you again. Somebody might say, that's inappropriate. You shouldn't talk to me while I'm getting my groceries because I'm clearly in a hurry. But what if I never see you again?
It's that what if.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, what if that's the only opportunity? Or what if I happen to catch you at the gas station or I happen to catch you at the gym? I understand that it doesn't mean it's going to be a yes. What I'm saying is, again, to give you the other side. What if I don't have an opportunity to see you again, so I won't have the opportunity to initiate contact at a later time?
Right. I mean,
What do you think about
I
that?
think Publix is fine. I completely understand that reasoning, 1,000%. I think, if anything, that should be a reason to go up to someone because you may not ever see them again. Publix is fine unless they're like clearly on the phone or clearly in this the checkout line, like
Excuse
ready
me.
to go. Yeah.
Can I buy your groceries?
I'm gonna
I saw you in the
say
produce section.
I'm gonna
Would you
say
like a mango?
gas stations for me is a no.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
I would think sex trafficking.
So not catching you
Yes.
at a Wawa.
No, absolutely not a Wawa. But like
Racetrack.
gas stations, Walmart parking lots, like places like
Not the one.
I don't think most men are aware of like the trafficking hotspots. So if the sun is down, and to me personally, your window is closed. Business hours are done. Like sunrise,
business hours
yeah,
only. Got it.
sunrise to sunset.
9 to
Like
5,
that is
yeah.
it.
9
If
to 5.
if it is dark outside, I'm always on guard.
So only during banking hours.
Yes,
That's
Got
a great
it.
way to put it.
and
it.
weekends at the bar. But like that's it.
Okay, weekends at the bar. Okay, got it.
But like if I'm at the gas station or if I'm in a parking lot and it's dark outside and I'm at my car by myself,
And a man.
I'm going to
yeah,
think that you are ready to snatch me.
a
I
man
got
walking up to you is going to be a little bit
That's
intimidating.
like sometimes it's hard when I try to explain this to my male friends, but I don't. Women have to live their life as if it might end when they are alone.
So you mean when you say that you feel the need to constantly be on guard?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because Orlando's a very, very popular spot for sex trafficking. First of all, even by UCF, it's major, and then I guess we probably watch too many crime shows, but like
We do.
there's
Like I can get snatched anywhere.
anybody's a murderer, anybody's a rapist, anybody's a kidnapper, anybody's a sex trafficker, especially if they're approaching you in a place that does not seem appropriate or is shady.
And I like that you said that, and that's part of the reason why I even asked the question, because I'm always thinking about like what is appropriate, and
Right.
that, even that question is like I feel like it gets challenged a lot because some people may say like, well, that's not an appropriate spot, and maybe it used to be,
Right.
or maybe the question might be, well, where are the appropriate spots, because they seem to be limited in opportunity.
Yeah, so setting is important. I would say somewhere in a public space, and not like, even if you're in a Publix, don't do it like when you're like cornered and alone and like there's no security camera. Like, you know what I mean? Like be
Okay.
aware of. I think as a man, it's important to remember that to a woman, men can be scary.
Sure.
So if you're gonna do it, I do encourage it, especially because it's incredibly nerve-wracking. I respect men that walk up to me, but it's like, be aware of where you're at.
Sure.
Awareness. Yeah. I agree. I co-sign.
Okay. No, and I like I said, I appreciate the responses, and I asked the question because to me it's gotten more challenging over time. The more
Yeah.
that I've noticed, it's just like, where are these connections supposed to happen? You know, and I hear online, because I consume a lot of content trying to understand like how people think about things, and it seems like, you know, the ways that used to be appropriate are not appropriate anymore. So then I come back to that question of like, okay, so then like, when are we supposed to form connections then? I guess we're all just supposed to either hope you get swiped on or
Yeah.
chance, just
Chance.
random happenstance.
Yeah.